What is up, you guys? My name is Aubrey and this is my channel, and today I'm going to be walking you through step by step the process of applying for the PPP program. Now, a couple of weeks ago I created a very similar video to this, walking you through the steps of how to apply for the EIDL grant and loan program. And the response from that video was absolutely incredible. It had 100,000 views in a matter of a couple of weeks, and within that video I got a lot of comments asking me to do the same thing for the PPP. So that is what I will be doing today. I will be getting you guys on my computer, walking you through the steps and telling you exactly what you need to do and what you need to know in order to apply for the PPP for you and your business. So let's get started. Now, by now, many of you guys know what the PPP program is, and the PPP was actually set to end at the end of June, but it was extended until August 8th, which means that you now have roughly 6 weeks longer in order to apply and get your funds distributed to you, which is amazing. And so if you're somebody that could qualify for the PPP and you have not applied yet, I would highly encourage you to use this video and use this opportunity to get your application in before the deadline. Now, the common misconception with the PPP is that you have to have an LLC, you have to have an EIN number, you have to have a full staff of employees in order to qualify. And that simply isn't the case. If you are an independent contractor with just a social security number, you can apply and you can qualify. If you have an LLC but you don't have any employees, you can qualify. If you're a sole proprietor, you can qualify. So there are a large range of scenarios where you could have just your social security number and no business and no employees and still get funds through the PPP program. And so because of this common misconception, I feel as though there are many people who aren't taking advantage of the PPP program like they are the EIDL program. But though both of these programs can be extremely beneficial to both independent contractors, sole proprietors, and business owners, the one thing that I do want to note is that the PPP program application is more difficult than the EIDL. In my opinion, the EIDL program application is almost as streamlined as it can get. It doesn't require a lot of information, it doesn't require a lot of verification, while the PPP program does make you include some bank statements and some tax information. So before we get started, I would encourage you to go and locate your Schedule C tax form because you will need this during the application process. Now let's dive into the computer and get started on this application. So we will be applying for this application through Bluevine. I am not affiliated with Bluevine in any way. I have just looked into a lot of application portals for the PPP, and in my opinion, Bluevine is extremely easy to use. It's extremely streamlined. It was super simple, and so this is, in my opinion, one of the best platforms to apply through. So what you're going to do first is you'll go to bluevine.com. I will include a description to that in the link below, and you're simply going to click Apply Now. Once you click Apply Now, you will have to create an account. This is not for the PPP application. This is simply so that you can access your Bluevine account after you submit your application so that you can go into your account and check the status. And so you'll want to include your first name, your preferred phone number, your email address, and a password that you will remember and you can use later on. So once you click Get Started, it will take you to the first page of the PPP application. And once we are here, it will ask you a few different questions. So the first is going to be business name. If you are somebody that has a proper LLC, then you would just simply use that LLC name in order to apply. But if you're somebody that is applying as an independent contractor using your social security number, you would simply put your name. So in my case, it would be Aubrey Janik. Next is business address. So if you are an independent contractor, you would want to put your home address. Your work phone number, again, whatever good phone number is good for you. Your tax ID, EIN, or social security number. If you are an independent contractor applying, you would want to use your social security number. Next is your annual revenue. So this is how much money total did your business bring in 2019. If you are somebody that does not have a proper P&L formed, what you can do is go into your bank statement for whatever account you use, and you can just go through and add up how much money came in over the course of 2019. It doesn't have to be some overly professional or overly complex way of doing it. It simply is going through your bank statement. If you use a service like mint.com, they make it super easy as well. But go through and calculate how much money you made through this independent contracting gig in the year of 2019. And that would be your annual revenue. Next is your customers. So who is buying your services or who is buying your products? Is it large companies? Is it small businesses? Is it public sector or the government? Is it consumer or private individuals? Is it both businesses and consumers? Or I don't have customers yet. So basically it's saying who is your target audience for your business? And in my case, I'm gonna put both businesses and consumers. Next is your entity type. So here you will select, are you a sole prop, partnership, S Corp, C Corp, LLC, independent contractor, self-employed individual, whatever the case is, you'll want to put whatever applies to you. So I'll put independent contractor. Next is existing financing. So do you currently have financing associated with business, or do you currently have a loan attached to this business right here? So it'll give you a number of different options, whether it's like a non-bank term loan, if it's a line of credit, if you have investors. For my case and for this example, I'll put no. And then you're simply going to click next. Once you click next, you're going to get taken to this provide financial data screen. So you'll want to provide your bank name. You would then type in your routing number, your account number, and then you would verify that account number. Once you do that, you will have to attach a February 2020 bank statement. You would simply download a PDF version of that, and you would then attach it here. If you guys don't know how to do that, you can simply do it by logging into your bank portal. In the case of Chase, you would simply log into chase.com, and then there's a place on the website that says statements, and you can download a PDF version of any monthly statement. It's super easy with Chase, and I'm sure it's easy with other institutions as well. But you need that in order to move forward. So make sure to go in, download your 2020 statement from February, and then attach it here. Once you do that, you'll simply click continue. Next, you'll be taken to this Tell Us About Yourself page, and you'll want to enter your first name, your last name, your home address, your phone number, date of birth, social security number, and then your role or title. So what is your role or title in this business? I found that a lot of people get caught up in this, and ultimately your role or title doesn't really mean anything. So you can just put owner, you can put whatever you want. It doesn't really matter. But then once you do that, you'll then have to answer the question, other than you, are there any individuals who own 20% or more of the business? If you click yes, you'll have to provide their information as well. If you click no, then you can just move forward. Then you'll simply certify that you have the ability to control, direct, or manage the business. So it's basically saying you are legally allowed to be filling out this application on behalf of the business right now, and you'll want to click yes in that case. Next, you'll be taken to the last page. So here it says, have you received a prior SBA loan? It's saying just in general, so not necessarily an EIDL loan or a PPP loan, like any business loan from the SBA have you received? If the answer is yes, you would of course want to click yes. If it's no, you'll want to click no. I will click yes for this example. Have you applied for a PPP loan with a different lender? No or yes. I'll click no. If you click yes, it will then ask you if yes, was it within the past 7 days? Is your business seasonal? No or yes, whatever applies to you. And then you'll click your business start date. So I'll put for me 10/01/2017, since that's when I started this business. And then next it says, aside from payroll, what else will this loan be used for? So keep in mind that you have to use 60% of the loan on payroll in order for it to be forgiven. And in this case, it says 75% here, but they must not have updated that since the PPP flexibility bill was passed last month. But you can also use the money for lease and mortgage interest payments as well as utilities. And so if you're going to be using the money for those things, then click those boxes as well. Next, you're going to put industry classification. So what industry are you in? Are you in the accommodation and food service, admin support, adult entertainment, whatever the case is, you'll want to put it there. I'll put finance and insurance. Next, you're going to put number of W-2 employees. So how many employees do you have that are W-2 employees? So if you have people that you hire on the side through services like Upwork or Fiverr, those would not be W-2 employees. Those would be 1099 employees, and that does not count towards the PPP. So if it is just yourself, or if you don't have any W-2 employees, you would simply put 0. Next is your average monthly payroll cost. Now this is where you will need to have your Schedule C in front of you, because it does say right here, your average monthly payroll is based on your line 31 net income on the Schedule C. If you're somebody that has employees, then you would use the average monthly payroll cost that is reflected in your tax documents. But if you're somebody who is not an employer and you're just an independent contractor, you would use the line 31, which is net income on your Schedule C. So you'll want to refer to that tax document, and you'll want to put whatever is on line 31 in your Schedule C for this average monthly payroll amount. And so whatever that is, you'll want to put it here. If you end up putting a number that's different than what's in your Schedule C, it will end up causing some issues later on down the road. So for this example, I'll just put 1,000. Next is, I confirm the amount entered as average monthly payroll matches line 31 from Schedule C, or line 31 Schedule C plus lines 1 and 2 from Form 944. I'm going to click yes, because you of course want to make sure that information is accurate. And then you'll say, I certify that the principal place of residence for all employees included in the applicant's payroll calculations is the United States. Yes, you cannot claim employees for the PPP program if they're not located in the US, because this at the end of the day is aid for US workers. And so if you have outsourced work to India or Indonesia, whatever the case is, you can't count that towards the PPP. Did you get an economic injury disaster loan between January 31st and April 3rd? I'm going to click no. Next, you're going to scroll down to section B. If the answer is yes for any of the 4 questions in the section, you will not qualify. These are legal questions asking, like the first one is asking, has anybody been debarred? You'll click no or yes, whatever applies to you. Has the applicant ever been a part of a business that has defaulted on an SBA loan? No. Is the applicant or owner of 20% or more involved in any criminal activity? No. Within the last 5 years, has any of the business owners been involved in fraud, bribery, embezzlement, whatever the case is? You'll click whatever applies to you. Next, you'll scroll down to section C, and this is basically asking, does any owner of this business own any other businesses? And if they do, what are those businesses? For this example, I'll put no, but if you have other businesses that you're associated with, you would need to put yes for that. And then lastly, is the applicant a franchise that is listed in the SBA's franchise directory? And then if it is, you'll have to put the name and the franchise code. But then lastly, you will say, I understand that my electronic signature will be applied to this application and will have the same legal effect as a handwritten signature. Yes. Once you click finish, you will be taken kind of to like a confirmation style screen, and on that screen, there's a chance that Bluevine may give you a list of documents that you need to send over to them, and you can do that right on that screen. In some cases, they may have you attach a PDF version of the Schedule C. They may have you attach your income tax return or your business taxes or different bank statements. And so there is a chance, and a fairly good chance, that you will have to provide some more information than what is given in this application here. But the information that you're required to give is really dependent on you and your specific circumstances. So make sure that once you click finish that you don't simply just log out, see what Bluevine requires you to attach, and then make sure to gather those documents. You may have to consult your accountant. You may have to log into Credit Karma, wherever you file your taxes, and gather those documents. But once you do that, you'll then want to attach it to the Bluevine website. They will then be able to see that you attach all the required documents, and then your loan can go into processing. Now, the time frame for the PPP varies. It is not as quick as the EIDL grant, which was just a few days. I would expect to probably wait a few weeks at least before you hear word from the PPP program. And so definitely be patient with this. I would make sure to continuously check your email to see if Bluevine sends you an email letting you know that they need some more information from you. But all in all, in my experience, Bluevine is very good of letting you know what information they need from you and when they need it and how to send it over. And so once you click finish, they should be very clear on what your next steps are from there. So with that being said, you guys, I hope that you found this tutorial helpful. I had a lot of requests from different people requesting me to do a walkthrough like this, and so that is why I decided to do it. But if you're somebody that could qualify for the PPP and could benefit from the program, I highly encourage you to apply before August 8th, whenever the deadline is here. But I would love to hear your thoughts on the PPP program. How was this application process to you? Was it easier than you expected? Was it harder than you expected? Have you been distributed your PPP funds yet? I would love to hear your thoughts and your comments, so make sure to comment down below, and I will try my best to respond to every single comment. And while you guys are at it, I would appreciate if you could hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and I will see you guys in the next video.